Wranglers Extra.
I'm Aaron Canada alongside John Schiffner on the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. And Schiff, we didn't know if we were going to get underway yesterday, but the only game in town it turned out, and Chris Munnelly turned in a rather impressive performance, but a heartbreaker late against Falmouth.
Right, did an excellent job, and we're really pleased the way Chris is progressing. And we knew he was going to be good or he wouldn't be here, but he emerged on the North Carolina pitching staff late in the year where he was one of their weekend starters, and we could see why. And that's two great performances in a row for him. And as a freshman to be coming down here and doing that kind of stuff, we're really, really pleased the way he threw. Again, it goes back to getting those hits, and one of these days I think we're going to get some. But I feel badly in a way for Chris. He pitched so well, as did Barry. Barry threw very well. In fact, the hit that he gave the winning, which eventually became the winning run, was a great pitch. I give the credit to the batter. It was down and away, and out of the zone, kind of a waste pitch in that situation, and he just did a great job of getting the bat on the ball. So, again, we're real pleased with the pitching performance.
We saw a good number of pinch hitters in the game last night, more than I've seen in any game for us so far. And one of them was Bo Amaral coming in for Brian Humphreys after he got hit by a pitch. Is he all right?
Brian's fine. We weren't sure leaving the field. He had a little, the ball hit him in a spot where he had a little bit of a nerve reaction up and down his leg. But Colleen checked him out tonight, and he's fine. He's in the lineup tonight.
Take me through the other substitutions. Just trying to shake things up in the lineup, or something else? Yeah,
trying to get percentages, trying to get lefty on righty, and so forth. That was pretty much. And Danny's arm was bothering him. Danny Paolini's out today. When he dove back in on that play at third base, he kind of stretched out his arm a little, his non-throwing arm. So we're just going to be a little cautious. It's a little sore. Luckily, Colleen's boss was at the game. He's kind of sort of the team doctor for Falmouth. He took a peek at Dan's shoulder, and there's absolutely nothing structurally wrong, just a little stretch, and it's sore today. And doctor said it would be sore today, so we'll give Danny a day off today. But that's why we made that move at that point. But it was also bringing in Westy to face a righty. You try to do that. We're going to try to do that the rest of the way. Is not necessarily platoon per se, but to give ourselves the best opportunity. Percentages have lefty on righty whenever we can, or righty on lefty.
One thing we've been talking about over the course of the last couple of days, and one thing we will emphasize today on our broadcast during the game, is the low number of strikeouts for this particular staff. Now, the ERA is outstanding, and we've seen some excellent starts out of the starters, but as we mentioned, the strikeout number's low, around the bottom of the league.
That's, again, goes along with what we've talked about. We don't have the big-time velocity on these guys. These guys are not going to sit back and sit on 95, 96 and strike guys out at will, but they can pitch. And Ryan can coach pitchers. Ryan's done an excellent job of improving these guys as far as how they pitch. And, it's a matter of pitching to contact against wood versus missing the bat in college baseball. So it helps us a great deal that we can do that. And if we play defense behind these pitchers, we're fine. And, again, it goes back to we got to score runs. But that I give the pitching staff a great deal of credit for working with Ryan and getting themselves in a position. I believe the ERA has dropped a run and a half in the last 3 weeks. I mean, we've had so many games where there's been very few earned runs at all. So we're pleased with the way the pitchers are pitching, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're not throwing, they're pitching. I mean, you can get a guy to go out there and throw as hard as he can and get 10, 12 strikeouts, but he might walk 3 or 4 guys. He might have to let up on a pitch to get a strike, and that pitch oftentimes gets hit. So with our guys, they're just coming right at the hitters, pitching to the corners of the plate, changing speeds. And, like I said, one of the old adages of baseball is work fast, throw strikes, and change speeds. And I think we're doing a great job of that.
Take me through the recruiting process over the course of the offseason when it comes to pitchers, because you've mentioned time and time again that pitchers are the first thing that you recruit when coming to the Cape. Now, do you kind of judge what you have as far as the crop that you have to choose from before you go out and pick up certain guys, or do you have a philosophy among pitchers and players that you try to stick to?
Not really. Just get the best people available, and you check your resources out. You check the guys you trust the most first, and then I've already got calls on guys for next year, and we've already verbally committed to guys for next year that are obviously 6 or 7 of them are pitchers, and it is the Cape Cod League. You have to pitch down here, and the pitching is so important because the batters are using the wooden bat, even though many of them are accustomed to using the wooden bat. They're still apprehensive because they come off a college season with using the aluminum. So pitching is important. Pitching is important to recruit, and obviously, nobody likes velocity more than I do, but we had some big-time velocity on our roster, and for whatever reason, they're not here, whether it was a decision to go to Team USA, there was some serious injuries, there's guys that signed. So, I mean, we replaced with the next best crop that was available, and I think we did a good job of getting good guys, and it's indicative. Our ERA is excellent, and, we got to score runs, and we can win games.
Now, what are some of the things that you and first-year pitching coach Ryan Heil have been working on with this staff? Because You talk about you've got a good group of guys who can get guys out at a consistent rate, and this is a developmental league, and we've seen guys like Phil Schreiber switch up their delivery a little bit. Just expound a bit more on that.
Well, it's a matter of what's successful for you, and it's also learning different. These guys are all good pitchers. They're coming from big-time programs, so they can pitch. They know how to pitch. Now it's a matter of fine-tuning, which Ryan's done a great job at, and it's also Ryan does an excellent job of working with the mental aspect of the game, where you try to work on recovering from a bad at-bat, recovering from a bad inning, recovering from a bad pitch, coming back and going after the batter with the next pitch. Are you going to pitch backwards sometimes? When do you pitch backwards? And by pitching backwards, we mean everybody in the world thinks you're going to throw a fastball, and you don't. You throw a breaking pitch or an off-speed pitch. And those are things that Ryan is talking to them about, because as the higher up at the levels they go, they're going to need to learn. That's all part of pitching. Certain guys can throw, and we've seen the hard throwers who are somewhat successful here, and then we never hear of them again. And you see the guys that learn how to pitch. I think a person that comes to mind is Frank Tanana. Back in the 70s, Frank Tanana was just a 98-mile-an-hour left-handed flamethrower. Series of arm injuries, and all of a sudden he can't get it done, but he learned how to pitch backwards. He learned how to throw big looping breaking pitches. He learned how to throw sliders. He learned how to turn the ball over, and he was extremely successful as he transformed his game. Tommy John is the classic example. Tommy John was a hard-throwing lefty, needed the first Tommy John surgery, and came back and was able to move the ball around the plate, change speeds, and was extremely successful after he had the infamous surgery.
How tough is it to break the mindset of a young 19, 20-year-old pitcher who, watches these guys in the major leagues and realizes that strikeouts mean dollars, and in this league you're looking for dollars, and they're going to try, with the emphasis on velocity, with scouts coming in, with their radar guns going up with every pitch, a lot of guys are really placing emphasis on how hard was I throwing as opposed to, how efficiently did I use my pitches?
And again, you make a great point, and what we try to tell them is just get yourself into the pros. Get there, and then win. Because at some point, winning is going to be more important than your velocity. If you keep showing pitching coaches and roving pitching instructors and developmental people, your directors of minor leagues and all that stuff, you show them you can win, you're going to get there. Greg Maddux didn't light up guns a lot, but man, he can win. And anybody who can win is going to get a shot. There's no question about that. But do you get big money for big velocity? Sure you do. But they don't give a lot of money for that 10th or 12th rounder. If that 10th or 12th rounder makes it to the big leagues a lot, it's because they know how to pitch and know how to win. And that's what we try to emphasize here. And some of the guys get it. And some of the guys get frustrated because they're not lighting up the gun. They're upset because they're only hitting 90, 91, and they want to throw 95, 96. Well, guess what? If you can put your 91 in the right place, nobody's going to hit it. And because the guy that throws 96 can get away with a mistake, but sooner or later somebody's going to turn that 96 around. You put that 91 in the right spot, and then you're going to hit a ground ball to short or a fly out to left field, and that's still an out. Doesn't matter. Yeah, strikeouts are great, but like Crash Davis said in Bull Durham, strikeouts are fascist. Just distribute the wealth a little bit. Give a ground ball to the shortstop. Hit a fly ball to the center fielder. They're happier.
He's John Schiffner. I'm Aaron Canada. It's the Manager Show on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Go Anglers!